Hello brothers and sisters, welcome to another episode here on Dangerous African Confessions HD. In this episode, we have the continuation of the story from our Queen Mother who was sharing with us her life story and her journey as a normal college lady to becoming the Queen Mother. Sometimes, there are stories and confessions that you hear and you will be wondering how can that be possible. But then, it will be right playing in your face as if it is not even true. In this captivating story, our Queen Mother is going to tell us about her encounter with the dark spirits of her family and how she made a pact with the dark spirit for her to become the Queen Mother of her town. There is more in this captivating story that she shares with us, the kind of life and the things she has done when she succeeded in becoming the Queen Mother of her hometown. As part of our policy, I've edited the names to hide the identity. Before we go on, I would love to tell you to please subscribe if you haven't done so already. And please do like our videos to help the YouTube algorithm to push our videos to more people so that they can also benefit from hearing the stories. Without wasting much of your time, let us go and listen to our Queen Mother.
After a while there, she said it is time for me to return home because in the physical world, it is getting to the morning. She escorted me to a gate and as soon as I touched that door, I saw myself in the physical world again. I woke up wondering what I just saw. That very day was the day for the coronation. My coronation was done and just like I saw when my spirit went out, that is exactly what happened. It was as if I have watched a movie and that movie was being played back to me. So, I was intrigued and I wanted to know more and understand all of those things. And what it means to be able to go into that path and still be here on this earth. That night when I went to sleep, I didn't experience anything. And so, I didn't think much of what I had experienced the night before I was installed. I had decided to go to the chief of the town and thank him and the elders for trusting me with such honor and position. On my way, I met a woman who was quite old but to be honest I felt she was not from the town. I don't know how I felt that way at that particular time. When I decided to turn to look the woman when she had greeted me and passed me by, I saw her to have also turned. She smiled at me and she was looking straight into my eyes. I asked that I go talk to her. So, I went close to her when my maid had run to tell her I wanted to talk to her. In our conversation, I asked her who she is and where she stays because I wanted to come to her and have a more proper conversation with her. She smiled again looking at me for a while. She told me that I shouldn't worry to come looking for her, because she herself will make herself available to me at the right time when things become too difficult for me. I was amazed at the things she was telling me. I wanted to hear more and so, she told me that, indeed the stool is rightfully mine. But there are things that I shouldn't have been a part of during the time of my coronation. She said that and asked to leave. I wanted to ask her what she meant but she didn't answer and only told me to try my best not be consumed by what I have been possessed with. She left and I also headed straight to the chief's palace to continue what I wanted to go and do. After everything that day, I couldn't sleep at night but thinking all night about the words of this strange old woman. When sleep finally catched me, in my sleep I could feel that there was two indescribable forces each trying to win me over in my sleep. So, when I woke up from my sleep, I wanted more knowledge and understanding into what I was beginning to feel and experience. I called for my grandmother and had a conversation with her with regards to the history of the stool. Even though I was taught about the history, but I started to feel that there were things that was held from my knowledge. My grandmother told me the same thing that I was taught during that time. I was beginning to get angry at her thinking she was hiding certain things from me. At this time, my grandmother then asked that it should remain only the two of us in the room. When the three other people who were in the room had left, I took her into my bedroom and asked her to tell me everything that she knows. It was at this point that my grandmother now told me that she honestly does not know the truth about what she was about to tell me. But since I am asking, she will tell me. She said that when the first Queen Mother was alive, there were other villages at that time that were always attacking her people. And so, to protect her people, she went in to seek the powers from a very thick forest to help her protect her people. And in return, The spirit that time told her that, in order to be able to do what she requires, she must possess the power and always fight for the people in the realms herself at night. In desperation, she accepted and all the necessary rites were done and that black pot was given to the queen together with the rings. So, everybody that becomes the queen mother must also be from her lineage and wear that ring, as a sign of that pact she had with the spirits. So, if you sit on the stool and refuses to wear the ring and follow the instructions, the spirit kills you. She said that is what she knows, but cannot ascertain the truthfulness in it. At this point everything started to make sense to me as to why I saw that queen mother when my spirit left my body. Whether I loved it or not right now does not matter, because I have already drunk the water and gone through with that particular ritual. This knowledge made me more prepared and aware of what was in front of me as the Queen Mother. That very night, when I slept, my spirit again was taken up into the meeting place I had gone first. But at this time, everything was prepared and I was to first slaughter a sheep for all of us to eat and make merry. So, in the realms, I did that without knowing the consequences. After cutting through the neck of the sheep and eaten, that was when I was told that finally I have been welcomed and I was part of the witches and I am their new queen when it comes to that realm. So, the first queen mother of my town showed up and told me that the animal I had slaughtered was first of many that I will be supervising for them to kill. And she let me to know that the animal was actually that old woman who had earlier warned me against accepting the queenship. I asked her why I had to do that. She said that she was blocking people from assuming the role as the queen mother to succeed her. And there have been actually 3 people that she had managed to convince them from becoming the queen mother. I asked her why I should kill my own people with that power if it was to protect the people in the first place. She told me that she didn't have a choice and anyone that she had to kill was just a treat to her as a queen at that time. And the reason why I had to kill that woman was that I needed to make my first sacrifice as the queen both in the physical and in that realm. And she couldn't have made a better choice for me than someone who wanted to prevent me from ascending that high place. I asked her what I was supposed to do with the power or spirit that I had now come imposing with. She laughed at me and told me that, for what I have to do, she cannot tell me. She said that when that time comes that I needed to make any decision, I will know what to and what not to. That was when the chief priest who helped in my coronation appeared and she introduced him to me that, in times of difficulties, I should call unto him. She dismissed the meeting after our discussion. The next day, I asked my maid to go and check on that old woman for me. She returned and told me that the old woman said she wanted to have a conversation with me. So, she had brought her to my house. I welcomed her and she told me that she couldn't stay for much longer. She only wanted to tell me that she knows deep within me that I am a good person. But I will be controlled by whatever that was given to me to drink. But she told me that she knows what was done that night when I went out of my body. She continued that her sacrifice or killing should be the last time I will ever sacrifice a human being in the town or else face the wrath of her descendants and the souls of the departed people in the town. She left my house after giving me this very strong warning. I was told in the evening of that same day that the woman had died. I knew I was responsible for her death and it did hurt me so much. During my first 2 years of my reign as the Queen Mother, I had killed about 10 people in my hometown alone. This I don't feel proud telling you. That is why I decided not to tell you the name of the town I am the Queen Mother. You see, when the time comes and I go into the witch meetings, it got to a time that everything that was happening they became a normal thing to me. It is only when I come back to my normal self in this physical realm that I feel the pain in what I was doing. But even when I feel that pain and goes back into that state, I don't feel pity at all. This went on for almost about 15 years into my reign and I started to see some strange things happening in my town. The Fetish Priest, who was also part of the witches, had to be struck by one powerful spirit that I honestly didn't know where that spirit came from. One market day, I was walking in front of my house. My house is located near the market square, so when it is market day, I could stand in my parlor and watch the market as people go about their day-to-day hustling. When I was about to cross one bridge before you enter into the market, there was this old woman dressed in white and was sitting on one side of the bridge. I was with my 2 maidens. This woman called me, and when I went closer to her, it was this same woman I had met some years ago. She asked me why I was doing so much evil to my own people. She warned me to stop the killings of my own people because the gods and the spirits of the land are angry at me. But because I was a true bloodline and was misled to continue someone's evil acts, that is why they are lenient with me. She said that if I do not stop from my evil ways, the gods will come after me and my death will be one that I will wish I was never born. She said these things and gave me something to go home and mix that with water and bath with it. She again told me to mix some with my food and water that I will drink. She said it is for me to denounce my association with the activities of the evil entities and turn back to the true spirits of my land. She said these things and asked me to go. When I turned, she was nowhere to be found. At least there was no many people there for her to be mixed with them. And so, I turned and went back straight to the house. In the house, I was placed in a dilemma. Not knowing what to do. Whether to obey the old woman at the bridge or continue with the spirits that I had. I slept off and, in my sleep, I saw a small girl who I met in my dream, and the small girl of about 7 years threw something at me and it did hit my eyes. Because of that, it woke me from my sleep and I couldn't open my eyes to see anything again. I started shouting for help and my maidens rushed in to help me out. When they realized I couldn't sleep, I asked them to go and call my grandmother for me. When she had come, I asked the girls to excuse us and I told her what happened in my dream. She said straight away that is the spirit of the god of our land. She said, it appears as a small girl to only people who are doing evil so that it would deceive you. And before you become aware of yourself, then what she wants to do to you, she would have done that already. She then asked me what have I done to warrant the spirits to reveal their side to me. I told her I didn't know and I have not done anything. Days passed and my situation was getting worse by the day. I started to ease on myself without even realizing anything. And I was becoming very smallish. My elders and family did all that they could to help me see again, but nothing they did materialized. It was at this time that my grandmother had suggested that we call on a very powerful priest in one of our nearby towns. He came and revealed to the elders who were around at that time the evil I had committed with the very black pot that was given to me. He told them that I couldn't control the powers and was not told the truth about the spirit. He told them that the good side of the spirit was never revealed to me by the priest that was around the time of my coronation. He then told them that the spirit of the land revealed herself to me again in a form of an old woman and gave me something to do in order to redeem myself from the hands of that entity. I told them where I had kept it and the priest prepared the thing for me to drink and also bath with it. He told me that, for my eyes the spirit says it will take some time before I can see. It took me about 1 year and some months before I could see. And even with that, I cannot see properly like I used to. When the chief priest came and did all that, I told them that I can no longer sit on the stool because I had brought shame to the stool. One of the young ladies in our family is now the queen mother of my hometown now. I have moved to the city to avoid shame. Please, all I can say is that you might have a good intention for doing something. But before you embark on that journey, please do ask for knowledge and the deeper history of whatever it is that you want to associate yourself with. Thank you very much for your time.
Like I always say, these are not just stories for story's sake. They are meant for us not to make these mistakes our brothers and sisters are making. That's why we share these stories with you. Let us please be vigilant of some of these things we go about involving ourselves in, all in the name of customs and rights. As African people, I understand there are several traditional rights that we have in different parts of our continents. But please, my brothers and sisters, I am not here to condemn anybody's traditions and culture and even customs. But all I want to touch on is that, when we want to be part of these things, we should first of all do a little bit of a background search into what that thing means, what it does and even its consequences after going through with some of those things. Because it is not only the pastors that go about lying to people and doing all sorts of evil and negative things. Our very own African traditional leaders are also doing same and thereby leading people into spaces and places they do not wish to be by their own conscience. I pray that we learn from some of these stories and live a better life. If not for anything at all, it pays to live a decent and better life. Let's all try and do the little that we all can, and ask the Creator to bless our handwork. Please let's be mindful of the choices that we make. Thank you for being a part of this growing family. Kindly share your thought with us in the comment section below. Kindly hit the notification bell so you will be the first to get notification to our videos when we upload. And if you are new here, please subscribe, like and share. Stay blessed and be safe.